Hi guys, and welcome back to Dudley Central. This is my first layout update since the initial video announcing the new layout with the initial plan. So far I've just mainly been building baseboards since then. It just seems to be taking over my life at the moment, but it's going well. I've done quite a lot of it, probably about 50% of the way through now, and I do feel at a point where I can share what I've got and give you my thoughts and opinions and get some ideas from yourselves as well. I've also had quite a few additions to the layout, which I want to go through first, just to sort of show what I've been getting. I've been trying to remove some of my sort of fringe stock, I guess, which doesn't really fit in with my region or era, such as my Great Western Railway stock and Arriva Trains Wales. So much of that has now gone, and it's now been replaced by stuff like that in front of you, which is an EWS 58. But what I'll do, I'll run through what I've been getting, and then I'll give you a quick view of the layout as it stands. So the first new addition is this Heljan Class 58. It's 58016, and it's got the EW and S livery, so it's a slightly older EWS livery, which is perfect in keeping with my layout. This one has came up from eBay from the Weathering Works. It's looked brilliant actually, really filthy. My layout is kind of set around 1999, 2000, so this particular livery on the 58s, it's a slightly older one, would certainly have been looking a bit tired now. Even though they weren't considerably old, the 58s, from pictures that I've seen by around 2000, they really were looking quite shabby. So when I saw this 58, I just thought, oh, it looked brilliant, really nice. I'm now looking at some of my other locos and thinking, oh, they could do with the weathering treatment as well. So let's say the 58, really well detailed, as all of the Heljan models are. Looks like quite a powerful locomotive. It's got head and tail lights. I do know that EFE are bringing out the Heljan 58s again under their own brand. I did see there was an EWS 58 in there, but to be honest, I saw the recommended retail price of, I think it was upwards of £170. I saw this one all sort of pro weathered for much less than that, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to go for this one. But yeah, so I'm not a full review, but I say it looks a brilliant loco. My only issue with it really was just getting the body off and fitting the decoder. It was a very snug fit, so you know, you have to be very careful with this one. And also, when you fit the decoder, there's no sort of indicator of which way the decoder goes around. So it's pot luck if you get it right. Luckily I got it the right way around the first time, but it was a bit of a mystery. I did look on the internet as well, and I say it's not very clear. But yeah, so that's the EWS 58. So my next loco, it is a Hornby Class 08. It's 08865, and it's in the EWS livery as well. So again, just following that theme. It's a really well detailed model. It is quite slow, but I do appreciate the Class 08's never really got to any speed. But this will primarily be dealt with shuffling parcels stock around. But yeah, I'm really happy with this model. It looks really good. So my next additions are some Rail Express Systems Mark 1s. I've got a BG and a Super BG. These were all over the place in the 90s, as obviously the Royal Mail operations had transferred over. By the 90s, EWS had got the contract to run these trains. So as I said, the EWS 08, its primary job will be to marshal these into the parcels yard. I am considering getting a TPO to sit in the middle of these two. At the moment the two seem to be quite a good size for my parcels area, but it'll be easy to tell once that area takes shape. So my next loco, it is a Bachmann Class 37 in the Loadhaul livery. It is 37710 and I'm made up with it. I think as you saw in my last video, I upgraded the speaker, so it's got a little mega bass just under the fan vents. It sounds brilliant. Really like this loco. I think the livery suits the 37s really well, and yeah, as I say, standard Bachmann 37, it's good detail. Appreciate it's an older tooling now, but to me it still looks the part. So my final rolling stock addition has been these Accurascale PFAs in the British Fuels livery. I've added a rake of 9 so far. I'm really impressed with these wagons. I think they look fantastic, and they look really good beyond the Loadhaul 37. I am considering bulking them up to 12. I've never actually had a wagon rake as long as this, so it's just taking getting used to, I guess. I've never had the space for a train as long as that. So yeah, so I think bringing it up to 12 might be quite nice. Possibly add in some, I think it's Carwood's yellow PFAs as well, just to add a bit of variety. They do need weathering. From pictures, they didn't stay this clean for very long, and perhaps I should add some loads to it as well. But yeah, no, I'm really happy. You know, it should look quite nice going round. That train approximately takes up about 4 foot, so I definitely think I've got space to add another couple of wagons to that rake, just to build it up. So yeah, so as I say, onto the layout itself. I have managed to do a complete run of the garage. I've got 12 foot end to end. I probably have space for possibly another foot towards the garage door, but I think actually what I'm going to do is keep it at 12 foot, just because, well, it's a nice number. The plywoods that I get come in lengths of 4 foot, so 3 sections. It was nice and easy to build the 12 feet up. And I don't want it coming too close to the garage door without it knocking into it. And actually, to be honest, looking at it, 12 foot's quite a good space for me. I know a lot of folks have bigger than that, but for what I want, 12 feet should be enough. And as you can see, there's that 37 with the rake of 9 behind it. I won't be having tremendously long trains. I think the longest I will probably have is a 5-car HST with a power car at either end, so fiddle yard should be more than satisfactory. So yeah, so basically all I've done, I've just used the sort of bog standard baseboard construction method, just using sections of 2x1. I've got some height adjusters which need adjusting. I haven't actually checked if these boards are level. They look pretty good, but I will need to definitely check that before track laying. But it feels great. I mean, the longest I've ever had for a layout has been 7 foot, so even this length alone is far bigger than I've ever had before. I suppose when you're at this point, you don't want to have something that is too big that, you know, is going to cost you a lot of money to build baseboards and laying track. I think it has surprised me actually how much you end up spending just building baseboards alone. So at the moment I've got about halfway, and I'll probably just see what I've got first before proceeding. Obviously I do plan to keep going, but for now I'm gonna have a break from baseboard building. I did do some videos, but to be honest I did about halfway through just thought, you know, it's something that's quite well covered, and to be honest, to keep setting up the camera every time I put a different screw in, it was a bit annoying in the end, so I just thought I'll just get going, get it done, and show you guys how far I've got. So at the moment I've got the 3 boards there, and if I lift the camera I have got the board on the left hand side. The reason I've done it like that was all of these boards, so the middle board here has got 4 legs, and the boards either side have 2 legs at either end, just to make use of the material as best as I could. I have added some bits of plywood to the joints just to strengthen them, and over there in that board there, it's just got the same arrangement as this middle one. It's got 4 legs, and it's got those corner joints that I've made with plywood. The plan then is just to have a bridging section between the two. I may add a leg to the right hand side, just so there's not too much going on that leg in the far corner, which you can see on the screen, and that will get me my I suppose U shape in a way, and then it will be a case of coming up this left hand side, where I plan to do something slightly different. It's not going to be like this. This is the fiddle yard. This left hand side is going to be all scenic, and I'm possibly going to do some open frame stuff over here just to get some terrain, get some nice levels, and basically, yeah, that is the plan for now. So I've now just gone to the left hand corner of the layout, over towards where the Parcels Depot is planned to be. I've just put these 2 Mark 1s there just as a bit of a mock-up, but this is an area I'm quite excited about doing. I've been doing some research, and I'm quite excited to have a crack at this. At the moment I've got 2 Mark 1s. I think really, given the space I've got, it may be a maximum of 3 carriages. So I'm potentially thinking of having a Royal Mail TPO as the central part of this rake. I have seen pictures of 47s pulling rakes as short as this, and that might just work for my layout. So in terms of the Parcels Depot, I've identified Tunbridge Royal Mail Sorting Centre as a key bit of inspiration for me. I really like the look of it. As you can see, it's got a nice little shelter with the big warehouse behind it, and it looks quite nice for trains coming in, as you can see. Just have a look on Google Earth. You can see how the platform kind of sits alongside the railway. And the plan is, as I put on the first video, that it would be a terminating platform, and I think I might use something like this and kit bash it so that it works as a platform for the parcels. I suppose the last addition, which I never really mentioned, was this double slip. I know some might just think, oh, yeah, it's just a double slip, but for me it's the most expensive bit of point work I've ever bought. But yeah, no, it's quite exciting for me actually. Yeah, so the plan really, before I do any track laying, is really to set this double slip up and build out from the junction. because then I can kind of plan this area and understand how that parcels depot actually fits. And then once the junction's in place, it'll then be a case of building some card mock-ups of the warehouse and the platform shelter, and then I'll focus my efforts on the parcels depot, as this is a part that I'm really quite excited to get my teeth into. And that's it for me for this video. Big thank you to those of you who've watched and commented on all my recent videos. It really does keep the momentum up for me. If you do like what you see, please feel free to drop a comment and subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to sharing my next bit of content with you. Bye for now.